Welcome to our tutorial of ProfLearn YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to have a discussion of the predicted concepts that you have to be ready for as you are going to do your May June exams. And if you're new to ProfLearn YouTube channel, consider subscribing so that anytime I'm going to do more tutorials, you'll be notified. And also, if you've not joined our Patreon page, you can join there so that you can be able to you can be able to download the paper that I usually have in this particular channel. So if you are new here, remember to subscribe and also share this channel to your friends. So let's get started and get to see what are the main questions that you have to prepare as far as May-June exam is concerned. Now, looking into that, what you need to remember is that this is paper 1AH of Edexcel paper 1. This paper is usually 100 marks. So let's see what are the main key areas that you really ought to prepare. For instance, you have to know how to work out questions to do with indices because a question must be set from there. Indices and simplifying expression. For instance, this one you can be able to see when two variables of the same base having different powers and they are divided, then you are going to subtract the powers like that, and our answer is going to be 9 minus 5, which is going to be 4. But if you have a bracket like y squared into bracket raised to power 8, you are going to multiply the powers in such kind of case. And you may be asked question to do with expansion. For you to expand this, you have the two terms in the first bracket. You are going to multiply each of them into the second bracket, and then you should put also the like terms together. And if you work it out, you are going to get your answer as x squared plus 7x minus 18 as our final answer in that particular case. So you will also be given question to do with factorization. And what you need to remember here is that you need to check which is the common term that is appearing in the two terms there. So here we are going to factor out 4cp squared, and then we are going to remain with that inside the bracket, and that becomes the factorized form of the expression. So let's move up so that we can be able to check what are other questions that you can be given. Other questions that you can be also be tested is questions to do with solving equations. And if you are told to solve equations, the first thing that you need to do here is try to expand and put the like terms together. Here we are given 5 into 4 minus x is equal to 7 minus 3x. So we need to purpose to expand the bracket that we have here, because 5 is going to be multiplied by 4, that's 20. 5 times minus x will be minus 5x, and 7 minus 3x. Then we put the like terms together, which is going to translate to 13 is equal to 2x. Then we shall divide by 2 both sides. And if you divide by 2 both sides, what do you get? What are you going to get? That is 13 divided by 2. You are going to get 6.5 as our final answer at that point. Moving to question part B, this is actually factorization as well. Of course, we have already done, you just identify the common term and then you factor it out. And you check what can you multiply with what's outside the bracket to get the term that we have here. If you have 4m squared g power 3, what do you multiply it to get 16m cubed g power 3? So you can see is 4m, and that is exactly what we need to transfer here so that we can be able to make the examiner happy. If you are new here, consider subscribing so that anytime I'm going to upload more tutorials, you'll be notified. Let's move to the second part of factorization of quadratics, and then using that factorized form for you to find the solution. Now, we are going to find two numbers whose sum is -2, but the product is -48. The two numbers are 6 and -8. Then we are going to express -2y in terms of the two numbers that we have mentioned here, which are 6 and -8. and that's going to be y squared minus 8y plus 6y minus 48 is equals to 0. Then we're going to group these two together. We factorize, we factor out what's common, and that's going to be in the first bracket we shall factor out y, we remain with y minus 8. In the second bracket we're going to factor out 6, we remain with y minus 8. Then we can see now we can write this as 6 plus y plus 6 rather, into y minus 8, and this is now the factorized form of the expression. Now once you have gotten this one, for you to solve from and 3, you are going to take the factorized form that we have gotten up here so that we can be able to equate that to 0. Then we are going to say that y, if these two y plus 6 and y minus 8 equals to 0, then it means that any of them is equals to 0. Then now we can be able to take 6 on the other side and 8 on the other side. We shall have our solution as y is 8 minus 6, or y is equals to that. And we are having also algebraic fractions. Of course, we need to find the LCM for this, and we check how many times does LCM goes to the how many times does 3 goes to 12? 4 times. So you multiply what's at the top of that by 4, and how many times does 4 goes to 12? 3 times. You multiply 3 into 2a plus 5 is equals to 23. Then you can multiply 12 both sides so that we can be able to put the like terms together here. We get rid of the fractions. Then we solve for the value of a. Yeah, I think this is not clear in terms of the question, but I'm going to make the adjustment on the terms of the setting so that you can be able to see the questions properly. So a translate to be 18.5. Let me just move this a little bit up. Yeah, so let me move this a little bit up so that, yeah, you can be able to see. Okay, let me just move this up so that you can be able to see. Yeah, so 259 divided by 14 is going to be 18.5. That's 18. 18.5. I believe it's a bit clear there. So which means that if I need to adjust this, you can be able to see it clearly. Is it? You can be able to see it? Yeah, so you can be able to see that. All right, so let's proceed. Do the next question. All right, I think I need to, yeah. So if you are having root y over 3 into bracket raised to power negative 1, and we are supposed to write this in the form c raised to power n, where c and n are numbers to be found. The reciprocal will bring 3 up, and we shall have now minus a half, y raised to power minus a half, 3 raised to power negative 1. So 3 will come up, and we end up having 3y raised to power negative 2 as the final answer at that given point. The way it has been shown here, you can see the way it has been shown here. Yeah, so that's what the answer is going to be. Okay. Right, so moving to this question, I think these settings are not okay. We shall have that. Yeah, that's better now. We can be able to see everything clear in this particular video. We're moving to question 4, and here we are talking about area of a sector. And whenever you're finding area of the sector, you are going to use the formula theta over 360 pi r squared. Our theta is 110 over 360, and the radius was 7.1. So we square that. If you work it out, let's check. What do you get? What do you get here? 48.4, correct, to 1 decimal place. So what you need to ensure that when you are going to be doing this exam, remember to be checking the accuracy to which the answer is expected to be left. So if a question is telling you to one decimal place, please stick to that. An arithmetic series has first term A and a common difference D. The sum of the first 30 terms of the series is 4395. And the sum of the 10th term and the 20th term is 284. Work out the sum of the first 45 times of this arithmetic series. So which means that we have to find the first term and we know the common difference for us to proceed in this particular path. So we are going to write the formula for nth term. Nth term is first term plus n minus 1 into d. That is the formula for the first term of an arithmetic series. Also, you have to remember sum of n terms is going to be n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Formula, standard formula for sum of an AP or arithmetic series. Now, using the information that we were given, the sum of the first 30 terms is 4395. So meaning that we can be able to say 4395 is equals to 30 over 2 into 2a into 29, because 30 minus 1 is 29 times d. That is going to be our first equation, which we are going to simplify here. Now, once we simplify everything, we're going to form our equation number 1. I'm going to move that so that you can be able to see that particular equation. Then we're moving to the second part. We're told sum of the 10th and the 20th term. So meaning we're going to use the first formula I had written here so that we know what's the 10th term. And also we find what's the 20th term. Now, once we have done that, we are going to add the two. But adding the two 10th and the 20th term, we're going to get 284. So this is going to be, if we add this, the 10th term is going to be a plus 9d, and the 20th term is going to be a plus 19d. So if we add the two, we are going to have what we call the second particular equation. So having said all that, and having that we have the second equation here, then we are going to solve the two equations simultaneously. The first equation was 2a plus 29d is equals to 293, and the second equation is 2a plus 28d is equals to 284. So which means we are going to subtract the two equations. Our common difference d is going to be 9. Then we are going to go ahead using the first equation. Then we can be able now to find the first term. Now, substituting into the first equation, putting the like terms together and dividing by both sides, we are going to get our answer A to be 16. So the first term, now in this case, we can be able to see that the first term is 16 and the common difference is 9. Now, once we have this, we can be able to proceed and work out the sum of the first 45 terms. So it will be 45 over 2 into 2 times 16 plus n, which is 45 minus 1, which will be 44, times the common difference, which is which we have gotten to be what? 9. So if you work it out, the answer or final value will be 9630. 9630 is the sum of all the terms. The sum of the 45 terms will be 9630. And now we can be able to move to the next question. Another question that you must be tested is the question to do with finding upper and the lower bound whenever you are given a formula. So whenever you are given a formula and then you are supposed to find the upper bound, and you can see here we are given a minus v, a equals to v minus u over t. So for us to find the upper bound of a, we're going to say this is going to be v upper bound minus u lower bound over t lower bound, so that we can be able to get the upper bound. But I need to change this. Okay, yeah, this. Okay, so if we substitute everything that we have into the formula, the upper bound of v is going to be 9.65. Lower bound of u is going to be 3.75, and the upper bound of t is going to be 1.835. So if you work it out, you are going to get your answer being equivalent to 3.22. So for sure, we must have a question from upper bounds. And another question that you can be asked also is a question to do with circle theorem. And here we're having angles in alternate segments. So angles in alternate segments are equal. So this angle alternate with that. And also we can be able to draw a straight line. We can be able to draw a line joining from B to D. Yeah, we can be able to join a line running from B to D, so that we can be able to see how do we find that. If we join a line here, we are going to have also angles in alternate segments. So this angle 71 degrees is going to be equals to this. But also we were told that isosceles triangle, then both angles will be equal, this 71. Then we can be able to use this 71 and 71 at B and D in order for us to try to work out what is angle A. So angle A in our case is going to be what? Our angle A is going to be, because angles in a triangle add up to 180, so this is going to be approximately 38. Yeah, it will be 38 degrees. And then we're going to use now angles, opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral add up to 180 as well. So we shall have this as 142 degrees. This angle here, this angle is 142 degrees. And the concept we are using at this point is angles, opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral add up to 180. I think it's getting okay. Let's continue with up to where we left, so that we can be able to have a continuation of this particular tutorial. Now, in question number 8, you may be told to work out or express a quadratic equation or expression in the form like this. Basically, this is completing the square. So completing the square is an area that you might be expected to answer a question from. And in the event you're given a question like that, you need to remember that what you need to do is to factorize the first two expressions. Let's move it down. Yeah, so we factor out 2 from the first two terms, and factorizing the first two terms, we shall have x squared minus 11 over 2x. So which means that we can be able to find a half of this particular number, 11 over 2. You find a half of that number, and a half of 11 over 2 is going to become 11 over 4. So we're going to write x minus 11 over 4 into bracket squared. Then we subtract the square of 11 over 4. Always, even if the number inside is a positive or a negative, always you subtract the square of the number that is inside. So we shall have subtract 11 over 4 squared, and then we shall say plus 9. Now, we are going to open the bracket, and then we shall have 2 times the square of 11 over 4. Then we shall add 9 there. Of course, simplifying this expression is going to become this. this is going to be 121 over 16, but times 2 is going to be, because 16, 2 divided by 16 will be 8, then plus 9. So upon adding 9 minus 121 over 8, this is simplified to 49 over what? This is to be minus, no, minus, it's a minus, so minus 49 out of 8. So which means our A is 2, our B is negative 11 over 4, and our C is actually 49 over 8. 49 over 8. So that is how you complete a square. In the event you are given a question like this, you can be able to complete the square and get the answer. You can be also asked to state the turning point from this completed square form. And something that you need to remember, for you to state the turning point or the minimum or maximum point after completing the square, the term which is here, 11 over 4 inside the bracket, is going to give us the x coordinate. And negative 49 over 8 is going to give us the y coordinate of that turning point. So if we are writing the minimum point, we shall say 11 over 4 minus 49 over 8. Always you take the opposite side of the value that is inside the bracket. If it was positive, you take negative. Now, like for instance, it was negative 11 over 4, you have to take a positive value. All right, so we can move to the next question so that we can be able to see what are the most important areas that you have to prepare as far as IGCSE Edexcel is concerned. We have a question here whereby we are told that Kazi buys a car for a value of 700,000 taka. The value of the car depreciates by 12% each year. And we're supposed to work out the value of the car at the end of 3 years. And in here, we're going to use the formula amount is equals to P into 1 minus R over 100 raised to power N. But if the value was increasing, if the value was appreciating, we could have said 1 plus R over 100 raised to power N. P is the value of the car, and N is the period, R is the rate at which the value is depreciating. And this is going to be 1 minus 12 over 100 raised to power 3 because we are told of 3 years. Then we can be able to simplify what is inside the bracket, and then we shall work out. We are going to get our final answer becoming, just let's put it in the calculator so that we can be able to see what it's going to give us. We shall put this into the calculator. We see what does it give us. So just also put in the calc. This is going to be 700,000 times 0.88 raised to power 3. This is what I've placed inside the calculator. Can you see that? Then equal sign. This is going to translate to 47, 70, 30.4. Yeah, so we can be able to put that in, and that is exactly what we're going to get as 47, 70, 30 takas. So if you're going to be given a question with depreciation, this is how to work it out. If you're going to be given a question with appreciation, remember you are going to use plus for appreciation. All right, moving to question number 10. In question number 10, in this coming exam, either you'll be given a question that you are required to use cosine rule or sine rule. So in order to work out this, we are going to find PR, and the side that is opposite to Q is small q, side that is opposite to P is small p, and the side that is opposite to R is small r. Then we can be able now to write cosine rule, and we are saying, since we are finding Q, it will be Q squared is equals to P squared plus R squared minus 2PR cos of this particular angle that we have here. So that is cos theta. Then we can be able to substitute what we have here, the values. Ensure that you carefully substitute the values in. Let me just move this so that I can be able to have quite enough space to write. Yes, guys, I'm having some cold. but I said we have to do this video so that you can be able to prepare, but I believe I'll be fine. Let me just get some hot water here. Guys, if you are new here, consider subscribing so that anytime I'm going to do more tutorials, you'll be notified. Just subscribe, like this video, and also you can be able to share it to your friends. Yeah, let me just have some hot water as you're subscribing. And let me get to know in the description, comment if you were watching this section when I was taking water, hot water, for my voice to come out properly. I believe you are getting help from this particular video. It's helpful. Guys, please consider sharing this channel to your friends. Let's move it here so that we can have all the displayed values here. Now let's continue. If we put everything in the calculator so that we can be able to find the value of q, remember this q squared is going to be equals to 251.06. then we find the square root both sides. Q translate to 15.8. Q translate to 15.8. Now we move to question number 11. This is a probability, and this question was a bit tricky, and it's quite tricky for most students, but I want to explain it in a very simplified way. We are told a box contains 20 counters. If you understand how I'm going to work out this question, if by the end of this question you understood how you should be working out this question, just leave a comment in this, leave a comment below so that I can know that you really understood, because I'm going to break it so that it's easier to understand how to go about it. Now we are told a box contains 20 counters. 9 of the counters are red, 7 of the counters are yellow, and 4 of the counters are green. Alex takes at random 3 counters from the box and work out. Now you are supposed to work out the probability that exactly 2 of the 3 counters are of the same color. 2 of the 3 counters, when it's picking, 2 of the can pick red, pick yellow, again pick red. Okay, or pick red, pick non-red color, or pick non-red color, pick red, and again picking red. So let's see how. Now we shall start by picking the probability for picking red. Probability for picking red, for 2 must be of the same color. So probability of picking red, 2 are red, and 1 non-red. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to say that will be picking red, because there are 9 red counters. So probability of picking a red will be 9 over 20. First pick. Second pick could be 8 over 19, because now picking without replacing. Yeah, remember the first pick probability is 9 because there were 9 red counters. Now picking for the second time is, if it's picking red, it will be 8 over 19 because 1 has already been picked. Then now picking the non-red counter will be 7 plus 4 would be 11. 7 plus 4 would be 11 non-red counters. So that would be now picking 11 over 18. And this one, now this we're going to multiply by 3, so that because there are different orders in which this can be picked. Let's multiply by 3, and the reason as to why we can pick red and non-red, or red, non-red and red, or you can have non-red, red and red. So these are different options which have the same probability. So we are going to say 9 over 20 times 8 over 19 times 11 over 18 times 3, because there are 3 different options you can be able to do this pick. And then we can move to, now we can move to yellow. Yeah, so let me just use the yellow color here. Yellow, yeah, probability for picking, probability for picking 2 yellow and 1 non-yellow. So we can say, now what's the first pick? First pick for yellow, probability for first pick. It will be 7. Yes, 7 over 20. 7 over 20. Second pick, 6 over 19. And last pick, which is non-yellow, that will be a red plus a green. 9 plus 4 will give you 13. So it will be 13 over 18 at this point. And don't forget, this one also we're going to multiply by 3 because there are 3 possible different orders of the same probability. Then we're going to move to green, probability of picking 2 green and 1 non-green. And this is going to be green. We have 4 of them. So we shall say 4 over 20 times 3 over 19 times non-greens are reds and the yellows. So that will be 9 plus 7, that is 16. So times 16 over 18. And that is going to be, so each of these that we have here, we shall multiply by 3. And then we can be able to put everything in the calculator that we have here so that we can be able to find what's the total probability. The first one, I have to change this pen, yeah, so that I can have that 3 over 95. The second one, it will give me what? 91 over 380. And this one, what will it give us? We shall have 8 over 95. So once you have gotten all these, because at this different probability for you to have exactly two same colors and one different one, we shall add everything that we have at this point. We are going to add everything that we have here. So we're going to add all the probabilities so that we can be able to get the final answer. If we add all this, yeah, so I need to move Mr. Nick move so that we can be able to see. Yeah, Mr. Nick, yeah, you can see that Nick has moved there. So we shall say this is going to be, yeah, which is going to translate to, I need to move that 51 over 76. Yeah, that's 51 out of 76, and you're going to get your marks like that. All right, so proceeding to the next question, I believe you've understood how to go about that. Now we are going to move to cumulative graphs, and we're going to see if in the event you're going to be given a question to do with cumulative frequency curves, can you be able to get the mean? What can you be able to get the median from it? Yeah, you're supposed to find the median. So you're going to check the maximum total cumulative frequency divided by 2, that is 45. Then you go to where 45 is, you draw a line, you go straight down here. Then you are going to read the value that we have at that point. Can you try to read that value? Which value is that? That's 140. Then we move all the way. This value is approximately around 146. 146. So when you have 146 there, you're going now to move straight and say the estimate of the median is 146 grams. You write it down to make the examiner happy, and you get your marks 146. Then we are told that Roberto sells the bags of sweet to raise money for charity. Bags with weight greater than D grams are labeled in large bags sold for. The total amount of money received by selling all the bags is 93.5. 93.5. And each bag was sold at 3.75 euros. So which means that we can be able to find how many bags. Yeah, so how many large bags? That is 25, right? 25. So we go here. We try to identify 90 minus 25. 90 minus 25. Then we shall check. That is around 65. We just read here. Which value is that? That value is basically, let me just move here. What value was that? 151. Yeah, 151 for this particular question. Yeah, for this particular question, 151. All right, so yeah, so you just identify 90 minus 25. You just go draw a line like that and read down here. That value is around 151 at that point. Right. Now, question 13, you may be given a question to do with inverse proportion or direct proportion. So in the event you are given a question like that, guys, make sure you score it right. Here, you are told that f is inversely proportional. So if you are given f is inversely proportional, we are going to say 1 over square of r. And to remove the sign of proportionality, we introduce a constant there. But we are told that when r is 4, f is 36. So we can say 36 is equals to k over r, which is 4 squared. Then we can be able to get the value of k as k is going to be 6 times 16, which is going to be giving us 576. That's the value of k. So meaning we can be able to rewrite the formula in terms of r, and our formula will be what? Our formula so after getting this value of k here, which is 576, the formula in terms of r is going to be f is equals to 576. F is equal to 576 over r squared. Okay, so that we can be able now to write what the formula is supposed to be. Yeah, so we are going to say this formula is going to be that 576 over r squared. So basically that's what we are going to do at that given point. So once you have gotten this, the next thing we have is to work out the value of f when r is 48. Remember we said that f is going to be equals to what? 576 over r squared. So our r is 48 squared. If you work it out, you're going to get your answer as 0.25, something like that. Now, question 14, we have done factorization. We have done solving equations, quadratic equation. This is a question where I want you now pause the video so that you can try to answer this question. This is an exercise you're going to do. This is an exercise you're going to do. And then in 2 minutes, you are going to check your answers. Pause the video so that you can be able to answer that. Get your pen. Don't look, just look at me like that. Just work out those questions. Work A, B, and C. Okay. Can you check whether you got your answer as this? And write in the comment section the first exercise, whether you got it right. Question number 2, check whether you got this. Check that. Check Roman 3, whether you got this. Okay. For those who got 100%, just write in the comment section. First exercise, 100%. I'll be checking and reading the comments. All right, let's move now to the next bit. Yeah, so let's move to the next part. Question 15 is not an exercise. Now this we're going to work out the volume of a cylinder. You may be given question to do with volume of cylinders, and you can see here we are told that a cylinder has a volume of 3892. So we remember that V is equals to pi r squared h, and then we can be able to use the volume that was given. Since we have the radius and we are missing the height, we can be able to work it like that. And if you work it out, you're going to get your answer being equivalent to what? Just write, put in the calculator, you'll get 19.4 centimeters. That is the height of the cylinder. So you may be given to question to do with volume of cylinder, surface areas, and also we can talk about volume of cones and spheres. So you need to prepare all round so that you can be able to earn all your marks. Let's move to functions. You are told to find f1 over 3, meaning where you have x in that function, you're going to substitute 1 over 3. And let's see what that translates to. If you work it out, you're going to get negative half, negative 0.5, like that. We are finding the inverse function. The first thing that we're going to do, we are going to write f of x like that. We change it to y. So once you change it to y, then you switch now x and y. Where you have y, you write x, and where you have x, you write y. Then now we shall rearrange this to make y the subject of the formula. Then taking 5 on the other side, we are going to have it positive, divided by 3, all true. Our expression becomes that, which we can say f inverse of that is going to be 5 over 3 plus 2 over 3x. But this one can also be written as follows. So we can be able to express everything as a fraction of 3x like that. Still, if you leave it your answer like this, or like this, or like this, like this, or like this, or like this, you're gonna get the answer correct. Still, you'll get all your marks. All right, so let's move to function. This one already we have done this. This is the second exercise, exercise 2. Check whether you are going to get 100% for the second exercise. Yeah, so check if this completing the square. Already we have done it in the previous section. So I'm just going to give you a few seconds, you work it out, then you write in the comment section whether your answer was like this. Do you get your answer this way? Yeah, do you get your answer that? Okay, so if you did not get the answer like that, go and check the first section where we did this particular question, how you are supposed to complete the square. Let's work out the gradient of AB. For you to find the gradient of a line is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And it's you to decide which part is going to your x1 and which part is going to be your y1. So at that given point, we are going to say this is going to be what? Our x2, y2, this to be x1, y1. Then we're going to say this is going to be 8, because y2 is 8, so 8 minus 4, and 5 minus 9. So if you work it out, you're going to get that, and the expression is going to be what? This is going to be 3. Yeah, so minus 3 as our, basically our gradient. Then a straight line L has this particular equation, and then you are supposed to write down the gradient of the line that is perpendicular to L. So this is if you write this line like that, the gradient of this line is this is y is equals to that. M is the gradient and C is the intercept. Write down the gradient of the straight line that is perpendicular to L. So the gradient of a line perpendicular to L is going to be 1 over 4. So that the answer is not negative 4 here. The answer is going to be 1 over 4. The gradient of the line that is perpendicular to L is going to be 1 over 4. So that the product of the gradient of this line times the gradient of the line that is perpendicular is going to be negative 1. So when you are going to write the answer for this part B, you are going to say gradient of the straight line perpendicular to this line L is 1 over 4. I believe we are together. Now finding the LCM, least common multiple. This is what we're going to do. And we ask ourselves, which number can divide here? 2 can go here. 2, 14 does not divide. 2 again here. 2, that is 7. 105. 7 goes 1 times to 105, it goes 15 times. 3, 5 goes to 15 3 times. 3 goes to 1 does not divide but goes to 3 1. So for us to find the LCM, we are going to multiply all these together. So we are going to say, if you work it out, you're going to get your final answer being equivalent to 420. So you may be told to find LCM of numbers or highest common factor. So be ready for anything. Now for you to find the volume of the solid of this part, we are going to find the volume of the outer region minus the volume of the inner region. For us to find the volume of the outer, the biggest hemisphere, we are going to use the radius 12, but the inner one we use the radius 9. But remember, volume of a sphere is 4 over 3 pi r cubed, but volume of hemisphere is going to be a half of the volume of a sphere, so that's going to be 2 over 3 pi r cubed. So we're going to use that as the volume of a hemisphere. Now to find the volume of this, we're going to, I think I misplaced that. It should be 12, not 21. Guys, please correct that. Yeah, correct that. That will be 12, not 21. Yeah, it was a mistake. So yeah, so guys, please remember to change 2 over 3 times pi times 12 cubed, not 21, so that we can be able to proceed. And if you work it out, your answer will be that. Yeah, guys, work for me the volume. Yeah, so I believe you have corrected that. And the answer, if you correct it, you are going to get your answer being 20, 92. Let me confirm it. 2 over 3 pi times 2 over 3 times pi times 9 cubed. Yeah, the answer will be, change this. $20.92. Yeah, the answer will be $20.92. After correcting that to be 12, we are using 12, not 21. Okay, so moving to the next part, we are given a histogram, and in order for you to work out question on histograms, what you need to remember is that frequency density is usually frequency divided by the class size. Frequency density is equals to frequency divided by the class size. For instance, the first one here, the class size is this distance here. So yeah, let me just move this. Class size is this distance here. Yeah, this distance is the class size, so that is going to be, class size here is 10. So if we have frequency as 40, then frequency density will be 40 divided by 10. Let me just draw this table first so that we can be able to fill in. This is frequency density. So this is going to be 4, because 40 divided by 10 is going to be 4. So we go to the table and that value there is 4. So meaning now we understand the scale. We can now be able to tell if that is 4, then this must be 1, 2, 3. And this one here is 4, then 5, 6, 7, and finally 8. So meaning once we have gotten that scale, we can be able to find the frequency densities from the table, from the histogram here, and then we fill in the table that is on the other end. So, but frequency, if you have frequency density, you can be able to find frequency. But frequency is frequency density times class size. Yeah, frequency, if you have frequency density from the histogram, you can be able to find frequency by multiplying frequency density times the class size. So we are going to go ahead class size here is 5, so this is going to be frequency density is 7. Then if the class size is 5, so it means this is going to be 5 times 7, which is 35 for the frequency. Here the class size is 5 as well. Check the frequency density there. Class size is 5, but the frequency density is around 7.8 times 5 is going to give us 7.8 times 5 is going to give us 39. That is the frequency. Now let's go here. Here the frequency density is 5.6. Class size is 10. That is 56. 56. Yeah, 56. Then last one, frequency is 30. Class size is 30. Then frequency density we divide 30 divided by 30, and then frequency density will be 1. Then we're done with that particular part. Then we are going to look at the next question. What are we asked? We are going to add that part for 30 to 60. We got the frequency density to be 1, so it will be, this will be, we are completing now the histogram. Yeah, so from here our histogram is completed. Yeah, so let's see, what is the next question? What's above 25? Above 25 will be, so if you want to know the frequency, you find the area from 0 to 10 up to the frequency density of 4. The total frequency there will be the area, which will be 10 times 4, which is 40. This one will be 35. This one will give us 39. 20 to 25 will give us 30. And this other one will, no, this to 28, because it will be 5 times the frequency density there is 5.246, 5.6. Then this one is 28, and last is 30. Now probability. Work out the estimate of the probability that the distance traveled by the person in order to go to work greater than 25. So you are going to add above 25. What is the total above 25? So total above 25 is this section here, this one here, and this one. So that will be 28 plus 30, and that is going to be 58. 58. So this 58 over 200. 58 over 200. We are done. We are done with that. Okay, so I think that is well done. We can now move to 21. 21 is our exercise. So the third exercise, I'm going to check who are those who got 300%. Because we had the first exercise 100%, second exercise 100%. If you get all the 21 correct, you will now be the person getting 300%. So you can write in the comment section 300%. Some water here. Some water sprinkled here. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, water everywhere. Water. So guys, the 300% guys are here after water sprinkling everywhere. That was it's spoiled. Guys, if this is spoiled now, will not be able to continue if it's spoiled. So let's see. Water sprinkled here. This was terrible. Let me check if it will work. Okay, it's now it's working. Okay, so let's continue. Now, I was saying that if you get also this one correct, all of them correct, you'll be at 300%. Then you write in the comment section 300%. Exercise. Check if your first answer was that. Did you get that correct? Check for part B if you got that. Because it will be 8 minus 3, that's y raised to power 5 is equals to y raised to power n. Powers are equal. So, and check also if you got this correct. 125, a power 12, r power 6. Check if you got everything correct. So this one we're going to write it as the k raised to power 12 raised to power a quarter, then everything raised to power 5. Then we're going to multiply the powers, and then we shall have k raised to power n, and n is equals to 15. As simple as that. Now, working out question to do with SADs. Let me check those who are happy to do with SADs, but if you don't enjoy SADs because you are sad, multiply by the conjugate is going to be 2 plus root 3, 2 plus root 3, multiply and expanding all the terms that we have here. We are going to have the denominator simplifying to what? Opening the bracket for the denominator here. We are going to say our expression will become, these two will cancel out. Let me just move this a little bit. These two here will cancel out as because root 2 root 3 minus 2 root 3 will be 0. So we end up having that expression there. Yeah, so the final answer for our question here is going to be the final answer. You can see our final answer becomes that. So that's how you are supposed to leave your answer. That's what you are supposed to do in order to get all your marks for that, because you are told to leave your answer in the form root c plus d. But now you see 7 was outside the root. So for us to bring it in, we are going to say it's the same as 3 times 7 squared, which is 49. 3 times 49. Because if you are having 3 root into root 49 times 3, you can be able to find the square root of 49 so that you take 7 out. So, but we are doing the reverse here. We are taking 7 in. But for you to take 7 in, you have to square it. That's basically what you are supposed to do in that particular question. So, we can say root 147 plus 14. Because this is the form we were supposed to leave our answer. Root c plus b. Okay, question number 23 is also an exercise, but I'm going to take you step by step on how you are supposed to go about this. We're going to say this is going to be what? It's going to be, we are going to complete the square. Whenever you are told to find the inverse of a quadratic function, first complete the square the way I took you through in the previous section. Once you have completed the square now like this, we can be able to switch x and y. So after completing the square, now switch x and y. Where you have y, you write x, and where you have x, you write y. And this is going to be x is equals to 2 into y. Let me just move this a little bit so that we can be able to organize our work properly. X is equals to 2 into y minus 6 squared minus 65. Make y the subject of the formula. In this case, we are targeting to make y the subject, divide by 2, then we find the square root both sides because of that square. But when you find the square root, always you have plus or minus. But now we have to decide, because we have to take 6 on the other side, but we have plus or minus here. Now you have to make a decision which sign are you going to use, because you cannot find inverse function which has 2 signs. You have to decide which one to use. But remember here, we were given the domain. This is the domain. The domain was x is greater than 5. Now when you find the inverse, the domain of the function becomes the range of the function. So the range here will be y is greater than or equals to 6. So meaning we need y value to be more than 6. So which sign will you use for y to be more than 6? You'll use addition. So you are going to say for y to be greater than 6, then we shall have to use addition here, and that becomes our inverse function for that particular question. So we are almost done. So that we can now end the tutorial, the prediction of 2026 paper 1H. This is the question to do with mean. Remember, for you to find the mean, the first thing you need to know is the midpoint of the classes, and then you will find f of fx. So the midpoint will be 0 plus 12 divided by 2, that will be 6. 12 plus 24 divided by 2, that's going to be around, that's going to be what? Let me just, 12 plus that will be 18. Okay, yeah, because it was 36 divided by 2. And then this is going to be 30, this is going to be 42, this is going to be 54. Then frequency is 11, so 6 times 11, 66. So we are finding fx here. So 6 times 11 will give us 66. 18 times 25 will give us 450. 30 times 23 will give us 690. And this is 630. 54 times 6 will give us 324. Then for us to find the mean, we are going to add the summation of fx over summation of f. So we are going to get our answer being 2160 divided by 80. Yeah, this is 2160, and this is actually 80. So we divide that, our answer is going to be approximately 27. Yeah, so that's the mean. And the last question, probably a question like this can be also asked. And we are told that numbers are a list of 6 numbers written in order of size. So range, how do you get range? Yeah, how do you get range? Range is largest value minus smallest value, maximum minus minimum. The largest value is 12, the smallest is x, and we are told the range was 9. So it's 9 is equals to 12 minus x. So x will be what? X will be 12 minus 9, which is going to be 3. X is 3. Then median, we can see the 2 numbers that remains here. For us to find the median, we add them, divide by 2, because you are remaining with 2 numbers in the middle. So for you to get the median, add the 2 numbers, divide by 2. And then we were told the mod is 10, so z must be 10. Z should be 10. If the mod is 10, z should be 10. Yeah, so that we have 2 10 here, 2 10s here. Then for us to find the value of y, it will be y plus 10 over 2 should give us the median, which was 8. So if you work it out, you're going to get your answer being equivalent to that. So if you write all the values we were missing there, that's it. Guys, if you are new to ProfLearn YouTube channel, consider subscribing so that anytime I'll be uploading more tutorials, you'll be notified. I'll be working on more tutorials on physics in paper 2 also. Consider subscribing so that once I'll be uploading those videos, you'll be notified. And if you got value from this particular tutorial, also consider sharing this video and recommending ProfLearn YouTube channel to all your friends. You can be able to access the paper, download the paper from our Patreon page. I wish you all the best, guys.